G'day, Bomber fans. Well, we're here a bit early. Usually I put the match previews out on Wednesday. This week it is Tuesday, and that is because I am hoping to have a mammoth video out tomorrow. You guys have been calling for a list management video, who we should delist, who we should keep, and I'm hoping to have that one done tonight to have out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And also, speaking of tonight, head over to Bomber Banter after you have your dinner, because I'll be over there chatting with Fiona live about the draft, the future of the club, so head over there to ask us some questions. But yeah, let's get into this weekend's game. If I'm being honest, I'm just counting down the days till the season is done. I don't think Essendon fans are excited for weekends. So yeah, let's hope we're not facing another 90-pointer. Let's get into it, but first some votes from the Dogs game. Alright, not a great weekend for the club, but there are a few players who'll be over the moon to feature in the count. I'm fairly sure that the count, the Everything Essendon Player of the Year award, is what Brad is using pre-game to get the players up and about, and clearly Merritt and Durham love it. They were both getting votes. Redmond 2, Shield got his first vote for the year, Jackson Pright was the role player. The overall tally, it is Merritt's to lose, he extends the gap, while Sam Durham jumps into touching distance of second place. Remember, by the way, half of the players here in this top 10 are done for the year. There's no Martin, no Caldwell, no Reed, no Setterfield, so there's going to be a lot of changes. But yeah, that is the tally. Let's get on to the game. Alrighty, Saturday afternoon, I think. I honestly don't know what time this game is on. Yeah, the care factor has gotten pretty low. But Essendon up against Sydney at the SCG. We've beaten the Swans once already this year, and since then they've gotten a lot better. We've gotten a lot worse. They're now 10th on the ladder, 3 wins ahead of us. We are 15th, maybe sliding. And is that a bad thing? That's a question. I would honestly rather us bottom out and get draft picks than stay on the edge of the bottom 4 a bit higher up the ladder than we could be. Realistically, we're crap. We're probably going to lose some games to end the year, so let's hope the teams below us win and climb above. I think that might annoy a few people, wanting the club to be lower on the ladder than they are. My thoughts are, I love winning. I'd be happy if we win the next 5 games. That'd be great. But if you're not winning the grand final or making finals, there's nothing really that good about finishing higher up the ladder. For years, that's what we were doing, finishing just outside the 8, and it meant that we were missing the elite stage of the draft, picks outside the top 10. But yeah, this year we've got a chance to get 2 picks in the top 10, so keep the losses coming, Essendon. Tank, tank, tank. Maybe not the 90-point losses, but keep them coming. But yeah, in saying that, I would like to see the song sung at least once more before the year ends. Morale is important, and it is absolutely gone right now. I don't even know if they know what morale means at the hangar. So if the Bombers win this game, I'm happy. I want Essendon to win, but I understand the situation we are in, and I'm fully content with losses. But now, this weekend at the SCG, the Swans are going in red-hot favourites. In fact, this is interesting, if true, but I think this is Sydney are actually more favoured by the bookies to win this game than the Dogs were last Friday, I think. So that is interesting. Tells you a lot. But yeah, let's look at the Swans and try and see how we can win this game. All right, well, Sydney are not a great team. They're missing the 8 for the reason. But also, of the teams missing the 8, they are probably the second best, which compared to Essendon is... It's black and white. Like, you're silly if you think we at the moment are a better team. We're not. But it is not as big a difference as the Bombers and the Dogs. That is men against boys. That is brutal. This is kind of like men against teenagers, or yeah, men against young adults. Yeah, there's a gap is what I'm trying to say, but I don't think it's a 90-point gap. So yeah, the back line is good. Melican, Rampy, Blakey, Mills, all good players, all experienced. You go up and they've got a strong midfield with Chad Warner, Isaac Heaney, Errol Goulden. Those 3 are fantastic. And then the informed Brodie Grundy as well. Rowbottom and Jordan to negate our skipper. They'll tag him. That should be fun. Papley in the forward line. But yeah, most of the damage they do is from that midfield, and it helps that they've got a pretty sturdy and experienced and usually reliable backline. Like, as average as they've been this year, this was a team 12 months ago that was first on the ladder, on top of the world, prepping for an inevitable grand final appearance. They were a bit of a shambles when we beat them this year, but there is a definite gap between these two teams. The question is, how big is that gap going to be? Like, should we be prepping for another triple figure watch kind of night, or are the Bombers a chance here? Well, look, I think we're a chance. I think any team is always a chance to win, but for the Bombers to win, a lot would need to go right. Like, it would be Essendon playing out of their skins, Sydney having a bit of a stinker. That's why it can sometimes be a bit frustrating watching big losses. Like, realistically, and this, I know you're probably going to be laughing, but we can beat the Bulldogs. Crazy upsets have happened before. Any team can beat any other team. it is just rare. And it's always annoying to see a team go out and give effort the week after a 90-pointer. Everyone says, where was that last week? But honestly, young teams like Essendon, they're going to be on and off with a range that is impossible to understand. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this week things are closer, if we're even in contention to win this game. I think by the end of the year, we're going to have a chance to win another game or two. I think we're going to play some good footy, but I'm also going to think we're going to get absolutely belted once or twice like we were against the Dogs. Young teams like this are so inconsistent, and when they sniff a win, it is on. When they don't sniff a win, it is not on. The GWS game, for example, that game should have been much, much closer. We were on that game playing really good footy. We were not on against the Dogs. It just happens, so much with young teams. And with an extra day break, with Goldie fresh, Dersma back, players continuing to play and get experience, it really wouldn't surprise me if this game is a bit closer and things just click. Sometimes that happens. It might be a bit wet too. I feel like, it's non-stop raining in Australia. There is rain forecast, and that is perfect for a team missing all of its key defenders. Even if it's a little bit greasy and moist, that still brings the pressure up, and when pressure is up with senior players, the young kids buy in, and I think there is 100% a world where we come out firing this weekend with high pressure, or a world where we sink even lower down than we thought was possible. Our range for this next month for footy is going to be all over the place. There could be weeks where we're contending with teams we shouldn't be contending with. We might get done by 100 points against St Kilda. None of that would surprise me. I don't know where we're going to end up week to week. All I want to see is good, solid effort from the kids and the leaders. I want us to continue to take the game on, even if it means we concede goals going back the other way. And if we do that but lose big, at least we're getting games into these kids and trying to teach them the way we want to play in the future. I know plenty are confused about our game plan. Imagine being the team. They're confused. Half the forward line wasn't on our list a few weeks ago. Of course, they're going to be confused and not grasping it straight away. I just want to see improvement in certain areas for us. Maybe understand what the team is trying to do a little bit more week to week, so we can go into 2026 feeling better about the direction of the club. We also have to talk about the individuals a bit, because I think it is a crucial period for some players on our list. I've got my list management video out tomorrow, hopefully, and I'm going to talk about it a lot, but I think for Essendon to be active in the trade and draft period, we need to move on contracted players. So what does that mean for struggling guys with contracts like Jade Gresham, Archie Perkins, Matt Guelphy, or even uncontracted guys that are playing regular footy like Dylan Shiel, Ben Hobbs, Jaden Laverty? There are quite a few players that are playing on the weekend that are not going to be there next year. So this is a really crucial month for their careers and just saving their careers. I've got faith that Rosa is going to act pretty quickly on some players that may not deserve to be there. So those guys have to be up and about if they want to be playing footy with the Bombers in 2026. Because if they're not, it might be time to chuck them on the trade table. They might not be on our list or at an AFL club next year. Realistically, this is just a game that the Bombers are not going to win. Would I like us to win? Of course. But I think it's in a weird way about individuals a lot to end the year. For the young kids, seeing them get up and about, seeing how they develop. For as I spoke about, the guys that need to play for their careers, it's important that they're up and about. And I think that could almost, in some games, get the most out of those players. I think it's really important, and there'll be guys knowing that they're playing for their careers too. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. But yeah, do I think the Bombers win? Probably not. The Swans just have more numbers. They're a better side. We are even more depleted than we were last week. I'm going to get on to team news in a second. But yeah, I just want to see the boys give it a crack. I want to see them play sustainable footy that challenges the Swans. It doesn't have to be for the whole game. That would be ideal. But I just want the game at stages to be tense and interesting for neutrals. I don't want another blowout. That would be pretty annoying. And yeah, I just wanted to see the kids up and about again. That would be cool. But let's get on to some team news before we predict the result. Team news, the Swans have 2 injuries. Hayden McLean is out. That is helpful, I guess, because our backline is screwed. And Joel Hamling is also on the sidelines. I think Riley Bice probably comes in after being dropped. He was good in the VFL. And maybe Peter Adams to replace McLean up forward. As for the Bombers, one confirmed change. Jordan Ridley is injured. He is out, unfortunately, for the year, I think. So our defence is cooked. No one can really come in like for like. I think Xavier Dersma just comes in for him because he was rested last week. Something else, though. Oscar Smart was pretty banged up after the last game. He hasn't been impacting too well lately. I think maybe Ben Hobbs comes back in. I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing Jaden Ewan get a debut, even though I don't think he's really ready. I want you guys to see what I'm excited about there with his attack on the footy and his attitude and his toughness. I think he's a really fun player. But yeah, tough to make any changes, really. We've barely got anyone available on the sidelines. Archer May's still there, I guess, but it's hard to see who comes out for him unless McMahon plays down back. I guess there are options, but they're not good options. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's more likely we line up with Blackerson, Laverty, and Pryor than McMahon down there, but I wouldn't be surprised. We may, blood another debutant. I don't know what we're going to do. But yeah, let's look at the prediction. Alrighty, so I am predicting Sydney to win this game. Big shock. That is not a surprise, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as what we've looked at lately. The thing that worries me most is the fact that there are, I don't know, about 10 or close to 10 players that will probably be playing who haven't played at the SCG yet. It's a different sized ground. The Swans know it well. We don't. So it's good experience for these kids, but that could hurt us in the short term. I think the Swans are better, clearly, but there's enough to work with for us to give them a little scare potentially. I don't think it's close, but I think there'll be parts of this game that we have in our control. It's just tough for any young team to really get that done over 4 quarters. So I'm backing the Swans to win by 40 points. Could be less. Could be much, much more. That is all, though. Cheers for watching. Remember to tune into Bomber Banter tonight. Check out my list management video if I get it done tomorrow. But yeah, like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and as always, go Bombers.